Ms. DiMatteo, hello, good evening. The International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movement, IFOAM, is supporting the claim for labeling genetically modified food ingredients. You participate in the Right2Know March from New York to Washington. What do you think is the best strategy beside the march to reach the goal of labeling?
Well, there has to be a number of strategies implemented in order to change the current position of the U.S. government on labeling of GE foods. The current position is that there's nothing different in terms of the crop, and therefore there's no need to make a label. So, and for the past 10 years, that's been the position. In addition to the march, which is a physical event to raise awareness of the issue by a small group of people who have walked the 313 miles, the march also was the beginning of an online campaign to get, we hope, over 1 million signatures from citizens across the United States. It's a national campaign in support of labeling. That campaign is called justlabelIt.org, and there's over 200 businesses and non-governmental organizations that are spreading the word through social media and emails and direct contact with their members or networks and affiliates or customers, asking people to sign on. And in the first week, we have already 168,000 signatures, and this will be very effective. If we can get to that million or more, no longer can the government say, well, nobody cares about this issue. That's also been an answer we've gotten oftentimes from the White House and from other government agencies. Well, there's nobody, the citizens don't care. They don't really care about the labeling. They don't care about GMOs. They're fine with the situation the way it is. So we really have to get numbers to say, no, that's not the case. There's plenty of people. So the campaign online sign-on campaign will go on for many more weeks. The Right2Know March will end on the 16th of October, but the labeling campaign will go on. And in addition to that, there's a strategy to get individual states within the U.S. to enact labeling laws for those states. There are been several attempts in 3 or 4 states, and groups in those states are continuing to work on those campaigns. And in California, an initiative will be launched the end of this month in October, and for 1 year they will try to build support in California for the November vote in 2012 for the citizens of California to vote in favor of GE labeling in their state. And that will be if that happens, that will be very important in terms of another message that there are people who care about this. California is one of our largest states, and it's one of our largest food industry states, and also our foodie states where people really do think about food and how it's grown. So if it does pass in California, it will enhance that message that we've been building, that yes, there are people who care and that the government should do something to label GE foods. So we have a legal petition already filed with FDA. We have the online campaign. We have this state-by-state initiative to get labeling laws by the states. And all this, we hope, both opens a door for us to have a real conversation with the government about labeling, but also puts pressure on companies who buy ingredients to perhaps think twice about buying genetically engineered crop ingredients for their products, because they will be under requirements to have either labeling in different states or nationally.
I see. So do you think that things are going to change near term?
our hope certainly is always that they'll change, and I believe we'll have some successes. And you know, in the United States, there's always new types of genetically engineered crops introduced, and that would be even another strategy. And we may have more success in stopping additional approvals of GE crops. The GE salmon, for instance, has been on the verge of being approved, but there have been now even congressional support for not approving the GE salmon. And so, and then there are some other pieces of legislation that may be able to mitigate the impacts of genetic engineering by having compensation for cross-contamination or loss of crop to non-GE farmers and organic farmers. So all those are additional strategies, and I think in the short term some of them will have success to a certain degree, but if we don't try to do anything, nothing will have success.
Sure, of course. So, and what do you actually expect for the final event of the Right2Know March next Sunday in Washington?
Well, I think that event will bring together a larger group of people. I mean, the marchers, we know that there will be people joining us on the days prior to Washington. There's buses coming in from some of our sponsoring organizations, so we'll have a larger group of marchers going into Washington, and there's been a lot of activity to tell people in the Washington area to come to the rally, and we have wonderful speakers, and hopefully that will attract people, and a long afternoon of music and speaking and stands, informational booths. So we hope that we have several hundred people, maybe even 1,000 people in Lafayette Park across from the White House, and that will be a culmination of our march, and we'll get some attention in the media, and if not the print media, maybe some social media for some weeks to come, and people will read it with interest and say, oh, that I need to know more about this, and we can send them to our justlabelIt.org website.
Thank you so much. Good luck for you.
Thank you very much.